Welcome back. In this lecture, we are going to understand how can we specify in which context the query needs to be executed. Let's understand this with the help of an example. So let me open my home.html file. So that is the home.html, and let me write down my code like where data equals to, and then I'm going to find out all div tags, and I want to find it in the context of a div whose class name is this one. So see the highlighted class name, right? Let me copy it and let me paste it here, and then I would say the text I want to retrieve the text, and then I would display the retrieved contents, right? So let's save it and let's understand the meaning of this code. We are saying that we want to retrieve all div tags, right? And we want to retrieve all these div tags in the context of this div object, and this is the div object whose class is this one, right? And make sure when you specify the context, the second argument, this one, the second argument must be an object, right? So let me highlight this one. So that must be a object, right? And to get this object, the context object, you can specify a dollar function. So notice that we are using a dollar function within a dollar function, right? So by using the dollar function, you can retrieve the context object, right? So now let's understand what would be the output of this code. So see, this object, this context object is this one. Let me underline this one, right? So we are trying to find out all div tags in the context of this div object, this div element. So now in this div element we have two objects, this one, number one, and then this one. So we are going to get the results like welcome to jQuery and learning how to specify the context. So that should be the output. So let me erase everything here and let's save the document and let's execute my code. Let me refresh my page. See, we got welcome to jQuery and then learning how to specify the context. So that is the output of this code, right? So let me go back here. Now let's write the same code on a button click event. So I'm going to write down button, then click, and then we want to execute this function, right? And I'm going to copy everything from here to this one, right? So I have pasted everything in my click function. So technically we are saying that when I click on the button, this code should be executed, this function should be executed, and within the function I'm going to execute my code. So in my code I have these two lines, right? So let's save this document and execute it again. So let me save it and let me erase everything here. Now go back to your web page, and here what I can do, I can refresh my page, and then when I click on the make changes button, I will get the desired output. So welcome to jQuery and learning how to specify the context. Go back to the home.html file, and now let me explain you that what is the default context. So whenever you say let me erase this one. So if you execute this query, right, So we are saying that we want to find out all div elements in the document in the context of this entire document. So that is my entire document, right? So the default context is document, right? So it is exactly same as writing this one, right? So this is the default context and you do not need to write it. So if you are not mentioning the second argument here, it means you want to execute your query in the context of document. So let me write a length here, and let's see how many division tags our dollar function is finding in the context of document, right? So let me write down here, we have total, and let me write plus here, and let me write div elements, right? So let's refresh it, go back, refresh the document, and click on the make changes, and see we have 5 div elements, right? So because we are executing our query in the context of document, so if I write document here and execute my query, let's refresh your home.html. Now click on the make changes. See, I got the same result, right? So it doesn't matter whether you specify the default context or not. So all of your queries will execute in the document context by default. So if you want to change this default context, then you can specify your object here, right? Let's cross verify the number of div elements. So we have a first div here, then we have a second div here, then we have a third div here, then in our document I have the fourth div here, and then this is the fifth div. So we are getting the exact results. In the next lecture we will understand how to retrieve direct childs and all descendants.